Alright, so in the last video we actually got the routing for the users working, and yeah, that is actually pretty cool. So at this moment we can create new user, we can retrieve all the users, and we can retrieve a selected user. But there is also something else. We actually need to update our user as well, right? Because otherwise what will be the point? So when the user wants to update a profile, normally you go to in this case, you go to the users route. So like in there, so the routes, you go to the users route dash user ID. And what this actually means is that the moment that you go to your own profile, for example, then you can start updating it, right? That's the whole idea about this. But when you want to update it, you actually want to see more information as well. So maybe you want to change your password and stuff like that. But I think we're gonna build a separate function for that because yeah, I think that is better. Let me see. Yeah, so we already created like the endpoints. Yeah, right. And most of them we we can actually reuse for courses. Update and delete we can also reuse for courses. So maybe we actually need to add a few more later, but we will see about that after that. So okay, let's go to the user. Let's create a new user service. So, oh, that is the wrong button. So we're gonna do a new file. This is gonna be a Swift file, and this is gonna be the delete user service. So the whole idea about this one is actually that the user can delete their own profile or their own username and everything if they want to. So yeah, let's build that. So delete user service, and I think yeah, let's do a static func delete selected user. And the whole idea about the delete selected user is actually that we are sure that the selected user with the UUID exists, right? So what we can do here, we can do underscore user ID is string, right? Because we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Rec is going to be request, throws, event loop feature, and instead of resending the user model, we're actually going to do HTTPS status because we're actually going to send a no content status later. So let user UID, right? Or wait, let me check really quick how we did that with selected. UUID, okay. So let UUID is equal to UUID UUID string, and that's going to be the user ID. And then we're going to do let delete user is equal to user model dot query on the rec dot db. After that, we're gonna do dot filter. And I was just thinking about something. We could actually, instead of writing the queries all the time, we can actually write one query function and then delete it. But I think this is also going to be okay. So backslash dot $ID is equal to UUID. Then we're going to call it dot first. Then we're going to dot unwrap or abort dot not found. After that, dot okay. And after that, we're going to do return try delete user dot dot delete or not. How did we do this again? So it's going to be return delete user dot delete normally. It is not. Okay, let me check really quick how the documentation does this. Oh yeah, of course. We actually don't need to do this time. So we can actually delete this. Then we can actually do user model.query on rec, and instead of this, we can actually do dot map. Then we can do user in, and under there we can actually do return. No, we don't need return yet. So we can do user dot delete on rec.db. And after that, we actually have to remap it, right? So we can actually transform it. So we can actually, under there, we can actually do dot transform. And we're gonna transform this to dot no content. Okay, so, right, let me check this really quick one more time. Yes, this should be all right actually. So what we do, we search for the user. Or maybe it's easier if we use flat map instead of map. Flat map. Okay. So we are searching for the user. We take the first ID that is found. If it is not found, we unwrap it and we send a not found error. And otherwise, we flat map it. User in user.delete on rec transform no content. Okay. And we can actually clean this up a little bit more by putting this one next to there. This actually looks a little bit better. And then we can go to our user controller. Mark. This function deletes the selected user. Okay. Func delete selected user. In there, underscore rec of request. Throws event loop feature of HTTP status. Then we can do let user ID is equal to rec.parameters.get. And that's going to be the same, so user ID. Oh, and under there we can actually do user ID. Under there we can do return try. Delete selected user. First we need to do user ID, comma, rec. Okay, let's run this. Let's see if the syntax is all right. Oh, wait a second. This actually has to be user ID like this. Otherwise, it's going to be crashing down any minute. That is bad practice. It's still building. Okay, so extra argument in call. Okay, so we made a mistake. Let's go to the select. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, of course. Delete selected user service dot. Wait, what is the? Oh, it's called delete user service. I'm really sorry. So I go to user controller, delete user service dot delete selected user, and this should now be okay. Value of type string has to be unwrapped. Sure, why not? Because we are actually sure that there is going to be a parameter, because otherwise the thing is not going to be called, the delete selected user. And we still have some errors. Let's check what these are. This one. Okay. Cannot interfere contextual base in reference to member no content. Okay, why not? So let's see to what can we. Okay. Let me check the documentation really quick one more time. Let's see. Okay, so we have the delete handler. Yes, dot unwrap, dot flatmap, dot transform. dot transform. Okay. Theoretically, this should just work. This should be not a problem. Let's force run this one more time to check, just to be sure. Okay, so cannot infer contextual base on reference to member no content. And why not? Because the whole idea about this is actually that we want to find it, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, and if you let dot transform empty, then it's probably not gonna work at all. You know what? And what if we change this to response? Let's see if we can use response for this. Probably not, but yeah, okay, so it actually needs a return. So we can actually, let's do transform to dot, no content. Yeah, I think we still need the HTTPS status because otherwise this is not gonna work. Okay, so let's do HTTPS status. Okay, I'm gonna delete this one really quick, like this. So then I'm gonna do user dot. We're actually gonna do a force delete so that we are sure that it's gone. And on rec.db dot transform dot no content. Let's see what happens. Cannot infer in contextual base in reference to member no content. Yeah, but why? Because no content is actually an HTTPS problem. Okay, let me check this. Parameters.get, that's what we have. Unwrap. Because here, for example, it actually works. Okay. So user dot delete, and we need to transform probably, right? So let's run this like this. It's probably not gonna work. Yes, because it actually misses a return. Okay. So let's see. Return dot no content. Let me see if this works. Probably not. Other Vapor developers are probably watching this now and they think like, what are you doing? Okay, what if we go use some model? Let's see what happens when we do that. Build failed. Yeah, of course it failed because we cannot return the user model probably. Yeah, I already had a feeling. Okay, so we do need the HTTPS status, but for some reason we cannot transform it. And why can't we? To dot content. Okay, so why? Okay, let's see. So instead of this, maybe, oh, the error left. Maybe let's see what happens if we run it now. Probably gonna crash again, of course. You know what? Maybe, you know what? Let me try something else. So we're gonna delete this one. Dot find on yeah. So this is gonna be a UUID on rec.db, then dot unwrap or abort, and this is gonna be dot Not found. Right. Yes. Dot flatmap. Oh, okay, yeah, they do differently than I do. Okay, doesn't matter. So we're gonna delete this. After that, we're gonna call user in. And after that, we can actually do user.delete on rec.db dot transform to dot no content. So let's see if this works. Probably not. Yeah, but why? Why can't we call this? Okay, you know what? We're gonna open our best friend Google really quick. Um, Maybe we have to put Vapor 4, huh? Vapor 4, just in case. Let's see. Okay, so this actually doesn't make sense. Why can't I delete this? Cannot infer contextual base in reference to member no content. Okay, let me check this out one more time, just to be sure that we didn't make a mistake. Yes, we did that. Dot unwrap we did, dot flatmap we did also. Ignore to delete on rec.db, user yes. Transform to no content. Okay, so what if we transform this to not found? Okay, what if we do abort? I'm gonna call dot no content. What happens then? Probably gonna crash again. What if we add return before this? Return user.delete. Probably gonna crash as well. Yes, of course. I don't understand this. Why I can't use the dot no content, because this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, and of course this is something that nobody had before like us. What if we delete this one? Okay, so we still can't call it, huh? Weird. Okay, so why not? Okay, so then we're gonna delete the transform. db. And what if we do map? Turn dot no content. Let me check this really quick. What is reduce? Hmm. Let me see. Okay. Request event loop feature. Yes, HTTP status. Acronym user model.find rec.parameters.get. Yes, yes, yes. Unwrap. Flat map. Yes, we use. User in, user.delete on rec.db. After that, transform. Let's clean this up a little bit better like this. To dot no content. This enum case is defined on HTTP response status and may not be available in this context. Or not. Okay, let's run this one more time, and maybe we actually have to change the HTTP status here. Let's see. Response, HTTP response status. Let's see if that works. So we go to user controller, HTTP response status. Where's the delete user? That's here. Let's run this. Probably gonna crash again, of course. Okay, so we're gonna change these back to status. Then we're gonna change the user controller. We're also gonna change it back to HTTPS status. And we're gonna fix this later because apparently for some reason this is not gonna work. So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna delete the code. We're just gonna comment it out till I find a way how to fix it. Okay, so then another thing we're gonna work on, that's actually the update service. So inside user services, we're gonna create a new file and we're gonna call this update user service. So update user service. And with this one, we can actually update the selected users. So import Fluent, import, let me check really quick. What's this gonna be? Vapor, struct, update user service, and then static func, update selected user. And for this, we're actually gonna need multiple things. So we're actually gonna need the user ID, so user ID of string. We're also gonna need the update the update DTO, right? So updated user is gonna be update user, and we're gonna need dash rec. It's gonna be request throws event loop feature, and this is probably gonna be user. Yes, I'm gonna call user model. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna need a new update user, right? So we go to our DTOs. Inside the DTO, I'm gonna create a new file. And we're gonna call this update user. In here, import Fluent, import Vapor, and then struct update user of content. And this is gonna be, let's say, okay, so we have multiple informations what we want to change, right? So I'm gonna open up a second editor. Let's see if we have the user model somewhere. Yes, here is the user model. Okay, so the user is actually allowed to update multiple things, and let me see. So he's allowed to update his name. So let name is string, and this is an optional. Let last name equals string optional. Then we have the date of birth. Let date of birth be date optional. Then we have the username. We could do the username as well. So username of string. Let email of string. Then we have password, but password and created that we're actually going to update somewhere else. So then we take updated that we also don't need. Then we take address. So let address is equal to string optional. Then we have let zip is equal to string optional. Then we have country. So let country equals string. Oh, wait a second. We don't need the equal sign. We need the double point sign. Sorry. String and optional. And then we have the subscribed at. We don't need subscription and the user will also not. So this is actually all the information that the user can update. Let's see. Do we need? Yeah, let's give this an initializer as well. So name of string. Then we have last name of string optional. Then we have date of birth of date optional. Then we have username of string optional. Then we have email of, under here this has to be a comma. So we also make the email string an optional. Then we have address of string and optional, and then zip string optional and country of string and optional. So we're going to open this one up. Self.name is equal to name. Self.last name is equal to last name. Self.date of birth is equal to date of birth. Self.username is equal to username. Username. Self.email is equal to email. Self.address is equal to address. Self.zip is equal to zip. And self.country is equal to country. Okay, so now we give this an initializer. I'm not sure if we're going to use it, but for now it's actually really easy if we have one. So let's go to the update user service. Okay, so let's see. The first thing we're going to do inside the controller, we're actually going to connect the controller with the service. So mark and mark, and this is going to be this function updates the selected user. Okay, so func update user. I'm gonna need the like of request throws event loop feature user model. Okay, user model. Okay, so then we go back to our service. It's here, and we can actually close this one. Okay, so the best thing how we can do this is user model dot find. Then this first above here we actually need to create a UUID again, right? So for our UUID is equal to UUID string, and this is going to be user ID like this. Then this is going to be UUID on db direct.db. Then we have dot unwrap probably. Yes, dot unwrap board. There's going to be dot not found. Under there, we're going to do dot flat map. Let's see what we have here. Then we have updated in. Then we have, no, you know what? Let's do user in. Then we can actually do user dot name is equal to updated user dot name. And when that is empty, we actually give it the normal value. So that's going to be user dot name, like this. Let's run this really quick. Let's see if this works. It's probably going to crash because we didn't finish the function. I just want to check if this works. Yeah, it probably works. Okay, so what this does, when updated user doesn't contain a value for name, it's gonna take the normal value of user.name. And so if it's empty, it stays empty. Then we're gonna have user dot last name is equal to updated user dot last name. Otherwise, it's gonna be user dot last name, like this. Then user dot address is equal to updated user dot address, else user dot address user dot zip is equal to updated user dot zip. Otherwise, it's gonna be user dot zip. Then we have user dot username is equal to updated user dot username, else it's gonna be user dot username. Then we have user dot email. It's gonna be equal to updated user dot email. Else it's gonna be user dot email. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but we're just testing it out, right? Do we have some more? So let's check the user. Where's let's see. Let's see some other. Okay. So our date of birth we need. So that we have user.date of birth is equal to updated user.date of birth. Else it's going to be user.date of birth. User dot updated at is equal to date. So we have name, last name, address, zip, username, email, date of birth, updated at. Okay, so this is actually perfect. And after that, we can actually do return user.save on rec.db map. This is going to be user. So let's run this. Let's see if this this is the right code. It's probably gonna crash or complain. Genetic parameter nil value cannot be inferred. I don't understand why I get these weird errors, because let's see. Yeah, okay, I know that. Oh, wait a second. This has to be self. And I see we actually forgot something. We also need to add the user.country is equal to updated user.country. Else it's going to be user.country. Okay. Generic parameter new value could not be inferred. It's weird that I get these. It's weird that I get these errors. All right, so I still didn't figure out how to fix this. So I'm gonna stop recording now. I'm gonna cook me some dinner, and I will see why this is not happening. And when I found the solution, of course, I'm gonna share that in the next video. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you learned something. I hope you actually enjoy looking with me to code and coding with me together. And if not, please give me a, don't give me a like, but give me a dislike. Otherwise, give me a like. And if you have any questions, join the Discord server where I will be there to help you guys with everything you need. So have a good afternoon, and I see you later.